The overhand right to counter the left hook from Kavaliauskas was just one of the ways that Crawford was able to end the fight. We're going to get into the other aspect of it, but this is the first knockdown that Crawford scored in this fight. And Crawford is a prime example of doing something what I like to call is skill stacking. And I taught it from a basketball standpoint. It's the idea of breaking down the entire combination from the individual skill that's required to go ahead and do so. Now, this combination or this shot that knocks down Kavaliauskas, because we're in round 7 of 12 here, this is a mix of IQ, footwork, and power. As we skip ahead to what actually potentially ended the fight, there's going to be 2 more engagements that happen here, and it's going to be later in the round. So this knockout or this knockdown happens in round 7, round 8 transpires, and then round 9 is when Crawford gets busy once again. So let's skip ahead to that. So that's the second part of the knockdown, and this is the one that really kind of ends the fight, or sets up the next punch that's going to end the fight when the ref starts this as stoppage. Now, if you notice, the first knockdown that happened, it was a right hand or overhand right to counter Kavaliauskas' left hook that he threw at Crawford. And Crawford was in the southpaw, was in the orthodox stance, and so was Igas. Now, if you notice, Crawford is now switching to the southpaw stance against Kavaliauskas' orthodox stance. And Crawford used to do this a lot in his fights where he'll start orthodox, and once he realizes that you get in right-handed position, he'll start switching to southpaw because he has a really good southpaw right hand and a powerful right hand. And when you're a southpaw, your right hand is closer to the orthodox opponent's face. So it allows you to go ahead and get those shots off. So now, when we talk about skill stacking once again, this combination includes Crawford's footwork, his IQ, and power. Now, this is the reason why I say Crawford has some of the best footwork in the game. It doesn't have to be super fancy, but it does. Your footwork has to allow you to get in and out of positions where you can devastate and dominate your opponents. So if we look back at what this knockdown and how it happened here. So if we pause here, Crawford is in the southpaw stance. Igas is in the orthodox stance at this point. Crawford is going to throw a looping left hand. And the reason why he's throwing that looping left hand is because if you notice, Kavaliauskas' head is towards his back heel. You would call that back foot, or you would call that position 2. Whatever your coach calls it, I don't care what it is. I just want you to understand what it looks like so you can practice this on your own, because we're obviously going to get this done on the mitts, and we're also going to get it on the heavy bag, because the idea of this film study is for you to get better at boxing, not you just watching these things and understanding. We want you to implement this and add this to your game. So the first shot that Crawford throws is a looping left hand. Now, most times that shot will get somebody out of here, but like Kavaliauskas' nickname is Mean Machine, so he's going to stay there, right? So we're going to go with a looping left hand to now a lead hand, right? And Crawford throws that lead hand not like a jab. He's throwing that like a cross from the southpaw orthodox, from a southpaw stance. You could do this in the orthodox stance as well. And we'll talk about that as well, because everything that's available for you, available for southpaws against an orthodox fighter, it's actually available for an orthodox fighter against a southpaw fighter. You guys just don't get an opportunity to prepare it as much because you don't see a lot of southpaw fighters when you're in the gym. The same way southpaw fighters don't actually see a lot of southpaw fighters. So back to as far as for this cross that happens. Now, the next shot that Crawford's going to throw, because those 2 punches are the setup shots for the money shot that he's about to throw right now against Igas, which is going to land clean. And that is a rear hand from the southpaw stance. It's a straight left, right on the money. And if you notice, as far as Kavaliauskas right now, he's doing what I call the Caleb Plant 2-step, which is what Caleb Plant did against Canelo when Canelo and him were fighting. So now, if you notice, Igas is going to get backed up towards the ropes. This is where I talk about the skill stacking standpoint, because Crawford is able to walk him down, get against the ropes, and we'll also talk about adding your IQ. He is going to feint a position right now. And so feinting is making your opponent think you're going to do something without doing it. So if you notice, Crawford is going to feint low into this shot, and watch how Igas, or look from this picture, how Igas just goes ahead and covers up. So now Crawford, from a footwork standpoint, he's going to shuffle backwards and shift at the same time, which means his weight is predominantly on his back foot right now. As he shuffles, he's going to shift his weight to his front foot and throw that rear uppercut at the same time. When somebody's head is down or is going down, that is a cue for you to start throwing your uppercuts. So if you notice now, Aegis gets clipped, and that's the first part of the combination. So let's watch that again live without the breakdown so you guys can see what's going on here. Now, to be able to do that, that takes practice, that takes preparation, because Crawford is not trying to figure out, how do I move my feet to get in these positions? How do I throw this power shot to get into these positions? All this stuff was prepared before he got into the ring, and these are just reads that he's making. Now, if I don't use the correct verbiage from a boxing standpoint, you guys will understand that most of my verbiage is coming from a basketball background, even though I am a boxing coach at this point, right? But that is a read that Crawford's making to go ahead and get this guy out of here. Now, as we skip forward, because the fight's not over yet, this is just a knockdown. Watch what Crawford does as he just walks into this next shot. No setup necessary. He already knows that anytime that he throws a shot, Aegis's head is going to go to Aegis's back foot, which is his right heel, which is right-handed position. And he's just going to launch this shot, get him out of there. So that is the quick film study of how Crawford set up this shot to end the fight against Aegis Kavaliauskas, which happens to be one of Crawford's toughest fights out of his own mouth. Obviously, this film study is to have you guys understand how to add this to your game. So the film study is just the first part for us. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the mitt work aspect of it. And I promised you guys that we're going to do it in both ways. We're going to do it from a southpaw against an orthodox fighter, but we're also going to do it from an orthodox fighter against a southpaw fighter. Because once again, everything that's available for a southpaw fighter against an orthodox fighter is available for an orthodox fighter against a southpaw fighter. So I'll see you guys at the next part of this, which is the mitt work. You guys understand this is a 3-part video. We go film study, breakdown, we go mitt work breakdown, and then we go into heavy bag breakdown, because we want to make sure that you implement this into your game, not just watching the film study. I'll see you guys over there.